Cool, Tom. So if you could just tell me a little bit about why you wanted to start working with me in the first place, bro.
Yeah, so for sure. So first of all, I find like when it comes to the group coaching that you're doing, I find it really unique, especially from other masterminds, because from other masterminds, it's either like in these two extremes, right? It's either that we just come there and consume all the content without having an actionable steps, or it's like that the guy is giving the feedback, but it just doesn't apply to it, right? So I feel like your mastermind is like in the middle. I can actually see it working really well because I've also been in other groups in the past, but then I didn't see that much success. It was like either like tons of theory, but like we could just can't apply it, right? But like since actually working with you, I feel like that I can see the actionable steps like in every single point. And also, I can just easily work towards my goals. I'm way more confident in what I'm doing. And also, nothing's holding me back, right? Like in other masterminds, I was like doubting myself on whether I was doing this right or wrong. And there were like a lot of doubts along the way, and the mindset wasn't right. Like some of the codes were breaking down the mindset, but realistically, there wasn't that much, right? It was mostly like theory about marketing, and it wasn't once again applicable, right? So like we would just be spending like months there and literally just trying to figure out the moving pieces on how to figure it out together. And like, it takes a lot of time, but like because of your mentorship, I'm like having way more clarity at where I really want to go. And also, I can see myself actually growing that business because right now I'm treating it more as a business, not as a hobby as I did before. Because way before that, mostly like a hobby, and it didn't have the proper structure, it didn't have the proper criteria, it didn't have a proper way of doing the acquisition or actually treating the client well or actually just making sure that I'm dialing the work sessions. But like as of right now, I feel like I actually have even way more clarity than as if I would just be like in some type of low ticket community once again.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. And that's exactly what I set out to do with this, man, because I've been in both ends of those extremes, like you mentioned. And spent ages spinning around in circles, going over the same stuff, scratching my head, wondering why it wasn't working. And I think, like you said, it's the actual fundamentals of the masterminds. It isn't a one size fits all. So if you're stuck in this low ticket community and you're having one weekly call and this one coach is trying to speak to 100 different people that have all got different personalities, different strengths, different weaknesses, you're going to take years to figure out your path. So yeah, I'm really glad that it's had that effect on you. And well, since we've worked with each other, because I know you were not long fresh out of school, you weren't someone that came in with a bunch of previous experience, but already you've been smashing it. So do you want to share like a little bit about like some wins you've had?
Yeah, so I had some wins along the way, definitely. So when we started, when I started doing these resources that you gave me, I basically just got way much clarity on my offer that I'm trying to give to those people, to those prospects, and then I start to finally actually just go after the people that I am worth to be working with, right? Like after those big dudes, right? Like I already have been like on a calls with some of them, so it wasn't that hard actually to be reaching out to them because they're not even different than us, right? That's something we gotta realize that those people are literally just normal people that you can just talk like I do with you, like through the Zoom. And it's those people are actually really cool guys, right? So there's nothing hard about actually just talking to those people. And that's why then I also had some of the wins that I got some of the inbound leads from LinkedIn, which is quite unheard of, to be honest. I sent you some of the screenshots, and like I was, I was also quite shocked just because LinkedIn I personally didn't use for some personal branding. It was mostly like Facebook or like Instagram, but like somehow to this day, like LinkedIn's still like so underrated. I like also like on Facebook, I can see like my brand being like the messaging that I have across every single post. It's like even way better, right? So I can see it more that I know what I'm talking about. I have way more clarity about who am I exactly as a brand. And also it's like for me, I can use this to actually land interviews, which I actually got one interview with one really famous guy as well, like with their team. And basically, it was also really good as well. Like Morgan also reviewed my interviews, and you basically just give me like guidance on how to actually handle those answers because there's like even way more details to this, right? And like when you're in these low ticket communities, you don't realize that. And that's the thing, like you're just shooting yourself into the foot. You're shooting with a shotgun to some target, which is like, let's say 100 meters away. So what's going to happen? You're not going to, to shoot that thing down, right? So that's exactly the same thing right here, right? So just with this guidance, I feel like that I know what I'm doing and I can finally just have a control over every single action. Like I don't have to figure stuff out. I don't have to go to some groups to ask for advice, which maybe work. And then, like it's amazing. Like since then it was amazing. Also, there was a period when I got even like 7 booked calls. Like it was 2 interviews and like 5 booked calls. And it was all just like that's the thing, like you weren't even active like giving that feedback, right? Which is quite even interesting that about that. So I was able to just in 1 month, like it was like a few months ago, basically like two, I think, to get like these 2 interviews, 5 calls, right? Which was like pretty amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. What I love about you is you're so like process driven. Like I know the other day we were talking about like, the dream numbers you wanted to hit and just like the amount of emails you'd have to send or the amount of applications or the amount of DMs, like you're broken it down, excuse me, you're broken it down to like, the actual down to the T of what the numbers and the KPIs you had to hit. And obviously something that we like to give inside the community is obviously your daily trackers, what you're working on, why you're working on it, how much you got to work on it. And you've smashed that, you've taken it and absolutely ran with it. And now, the proof's in the pudding with all your book calls, the interviews with these 8-figure clients, and even the deals closed. So that's awesome, bro. But, considering like, because I know you said that obviously this community is very unique and it's different, but what would you say that I've done specifically that's like contributed to your recent wins?
I think it's the guidance, definitely, because like in these communities I've been in, there wasn't any guidance. Like either they would just, have their chats only accessible for the close friends, not for us like members of a community, or it just felt like the answers they were giving were like super top of surface and they are not that applicable. Or like we would just chit chat a bit that in the chat, but it just didn't give the overall context to the issue that I'm just going through, right? So I think here for you specifically, I believe it's more that because the advice that you're giving is very tailored, right? And it's tailored to my situation, tailored to where I am right now, and also it's applicable, right? So I can just go out and easily just apply it without actually just like having doubts that if it is going to work or not. Like I always know it's going to work because of your guidance, right? I don't have to doubt myself ever again, which is absolutely amazing.
I love that, bro. And like, yeah, well, like I said, you've come in, you've taken action, you've applied yourself, you've absolutely hammered the feedback as well, made sure that you're getting your work looked at. We've jumped on calls together and looked at your sales calls. Like you've taken relentless action, and I really respect that. And I think with the new deal you've closed, you would have the program's more than paid for itself. So what would you say to someone that's maybe only been in low ticket communities or someone that's like a little like on the fence and they're scared to join? What would you say to that person?
So definitely to actually get yourself a mentor, definitely. It's just so important to have someone beside you in your trenches. It's not that beneficial to be struggling for 2, 3, 5 years in a low ticket community. That's like literally it's literally like killing yourself like from inside, right? Like it's literally killing all of the progress that you've made and it's like it feels not that fulfilling. So in the position, if let's say you're in the low ticket community or you're like you don't have like anyone to rely on, then definitely get a mentor who can actually understand your situation. He knows what he's doing, so just make sure to double check the expertise, like literally everything. And then after that, just make sure that you actually vibe with the mentor, right? So that's like really important as well. The vibe check that is like the first thing on the point. So then after the mentor is going to actually just show you everything like from A to Z, how to do it, will literally call you out. Like I have to, suffer the pain, obviously. So it's really beneficial, to be honest, to get called because it's going to expose the weaknesses that you can then work on. And also, especially for you, Morgan, I feel like that every single day, like when I just need something, I can just reach out to you. You're going to reply to me like instantly. And I can just, just apply it straight away, which is absolutely amazing. And that's like what I find like really unique, like about, the this type of mentorship, because like in other mentorships, like if you're planning to join some of them, like if those guys are already like big, then like it's going to be likely they're going to outsource it. They're not going to really like care about you, right? Like it's just going to be that they're going to have some VA who's going to, maybe coach you a little bit, but that VA, like that VA just doesn't know about you, right? The VA just has no interest in actually helping you. He's just there, or they're just there basically to just do the work and get paid. That's it. They do it for sake of money, right? But like when you actually get someone who doesn't treat it as like, to try to profit from anyone, who actually does it because uh, he wants to help uh, people like you, Morgan, then obviously you will actually just see it. And that's like the one of the best things I've ever done, just because I was also seeking for the mentorship this year. So this goal was also accomplished as well. So yeah.
There we go. Yeah, you absolutely like summarized that perfectly. Like I said, I've been in both ends of the spectrum of being in masterminds and groups and coaching communities. I've been chucked into the huge groups and left with a VA, and you can feel that it's like it's only there to benefit the coach. It's not there to benefit like the client, the customer. So as I'm glad that we've had that sort of vibe together, because I only want to work with people that I would want to sit down and have a coffee with, or that I'd have around my house, or that we could go traveling. So I'm glad that I resonate with you, you resonate with me, and that we can work so well with each other. So I appreciate you jumping on here, brother. It's an awesome interview. You're a legend, and we'll catch up soon, bro.